Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, May the 18th. It's race number 9 at Horseshoe Indianapolis. It's the $150,000 Caesars Stakes for 3-year-olds going a mile on the turf. Let's take a look at this field and scan the QR code on this screen to have access to DRF Race of the Days on your mobile device. You can view free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Take a peek, handicap along with me. There are going to be some scratches in this race. Shake 'em Loose, the number 7. I talked to his trainer, Rudy Sanchez-Solomon. He entered in the Caesars. He was considering the Preakness. I think he's eventually going to end up in the James W. Murphy at Pimlico on Saturday. DRF's Marcus Hirsch reporting that the 6 American Pure only runs if this race is washed off of the turf. The number 3 Play Action Pass only ran a couple of days ago at Churchill Downs. I find it unlikely that they're going to wheel him back on short notice. But as we look at the Timeform US pace projector, and remember, visit timeformus.com. Once scratches are made official, this pace projector will automatically update. We see the number 2 Wake Surf, the 5 Stitched. These 2 horses expected to contest the pace. I think Stitched is making the lead, and there's a good chance Stitched might be able to go nice and slow up front as he did in his most recent start. I think he's just faster out of the gate than the number 2 Wake Surf. Let's talk a bit about the number 1 Slim Slow Slider, who I think is a little bit better than he looks on paper. His last start's an utter throwout. He ran on dirt at Keeneland, and I just don't think he's a dirt horse at all. The race before that, the Rushaway Stakes at Turfway, was quite good, where he tried to make an early move into the race. He only finished a neck behind Tommy B, who's one of the horses to beat in this spot. That was a good effort for Slim Slow Slider at a big price, and it sort of confirmed his performance prior to that. It was only a $30,000 starter allowance at Turfway on March the 19th, but I was really taken by that effort. He was ranked coming out of the gate. He didn't break very strong, but he got to the outside eventually, and he made this big 4-wide sweeping move to the lead, and he was on his way. Solid Buyer speed figure that day. Again, the last race I'm not worried about because it's on dirt, and he's not a dirt horse. Now, is he a turf horse? That's a big question, because his best races have come on synthetic, but his first couple of turf races came with blinkers. He's been racing without blinkers since, and he's had success. I'm willing to give Slim Slow Slider another chance. He just needs a little bit of pace up front. The price should be right. He's 12-1 on the morning line. Wake Surf is the number 2. He's coming out of a pretty live stakes race at Tampa. That was the Columbia. The 3rd place finisher from that race came back to run 2nd in a stakes race in New York with a 79 Buyer speed figure. Wake Surf has shown the ability to adapt to pace scenarios, which is why Timeform US has him close to the pace, and I don't think he'll be too far away when the real running begins. This is a very lightly raced colt. I believe he certainly has what it takes to take a forward move on the Buyer speed figure scale. First start in 2 months for trainer Rusty Arnold. Big bullet workout on May the 5th at Churchill Downs. Play Action Pass, the 3. Again, he just won the other day at Churchill Downs. Seems unlikely he'll run here. If he does, it's worth noting that while he was close to the pace last time out, that was a glacial pace at Churchill. The pace, even if it's not going to be fast in here, is going to be faster than what it was there. So we'll likely have to come from farther out of it. The 4 is Tommy B. He's one of the horses to beat. Very impressive visually, winning the race we're going to show you right now at Keeneland. This race was at 1 1/8 on April the 29th. There was not a ton of pace on. He eventually made this outside move to get to the lead. It took him a while to change leads. Once he did, it was over. 81 Buyer speed figure for Tommy B, who is stakes placed on synthetic, stakes placed on turf, and is adaptable to any kind of pace scenario. He's one of the horses to beat for the very dangerous Brad Cox barn. The 5 is Stitched. I think Stitched is going to make the lead, as he's done in 2 of his last 3 starts. Both of those races were victories. Last time out, he got a great ride from Brian Hernandez Jr. Can't go any slower on the lead. In a mile turf race, 25-1 for the quarter, 50-1 for the half. He opened up at just the right time, turning for home. Don't love how he hopped back to his left lead in the stretch, but Stitched had the pace advantage that day, and he might have it once more. Florent Giroux has the mount, 4-1 on the morning line. American Pure, the 6, again. Marcus Hirsch reporting earlier this week that American Pure runs only if this race is washed off of the turf. Shake 'em Loose, the 7, expected to run in the Murphy at Pimlico. So we'll move down to the 8, Setting of the Wise, who won his career debut. Did some nice things at that race, at a price at the fairgrounds. I mean, he came from far, far out of it to win, showing some ability. His first start against winners was at Keeneland, and while he did get the right pace scenario from the back of the pack, they went a solid clip in that race. Some horses like Keeneland, some don't. There was a little bit of give in the ground that day. It was good turf horse. It was only his 2nd lifetime start. He passed some tired horses in the stretch. I still think there's more to come from this horse, but he's stepping up in class. And if the pace is slow as I suspect, this horse does not have a lot of early speed, and he might be at the mercy of a slow race flow. The 9 Kuchar entered main track only. I think he's a strong contender, obviously, if this race is washed off. He just earned a stakes placing at Oaklawn Park. Before we get to my top selections, I'd like to urge you to please subscribe to the Daily Racing Forum YouTube channel. It's Preakness Week. Lots of great content from DRFTV. Top pick time for the Wednesday race of the day, the Caesars Stakes. I want to take a shot with the 1. Slim Slow Slider. He is 12-1 on the morning line. Even with the expected scratches, he should be a decent price on the tote. He's going to need some pace. He's going to have to prove it on the turf. But I really like the way he won 3 starts back, and he proved he could hang with stakes horses, or at least he could prove he could hang with Tommy B on synthetic. 2 starts back, a little bit dirtied up in form. I'm going 1, 5, 4, and 8. 4 and 5, the most likely winners. Maybe Slim Slow Slider at a price takes them down. Best of luck on the Wednesday race of the day.